Hello, everyone. This is the 3 Degrees Podcast. My name is Randy Stone. So glad you're here. So glad you joined me. Let's talk about opportunity. Opportunity. There has never been a time in history of the human race that there's ever been a better, more opportunities running around the earth. There's plenty of opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere. How can you say that? How can you say there's so much opportunity? One reason, there's so many problems. There are so many problems and so many issues. And whoever can solve those problems and issues gets paid. So if we can solve the problems and issues, we can get paid for doing that. That's an opportunity. Opportunity rarely comes fully formed, fully dressed. Usually we need to put in some work and do some work. The first work is with our attitude. It starts with our attitude. Do we come into this? Do we come into this with a give to attitude or a get from attitude? A give to or get from. A get from attitude says, how can I get someone to help me? How can I get someone to do this? How can I get someone to volunteer? How can I get someone to serve? How can I get from somebody? In other words, who's going to serve me? A give to attitude says, I'm providing an opportunity. I'm going to add value to you. What we're doing, our mission is going to add value to you. Our mission is going to make your life better. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that you are successful. We're going to add to you. We're going to give you this opportunity in return. We're going to make you a better mother. We're going to make you a better father. We're going to make you a better brother. We're going to make you a better worker. We're going to add value so that you can use those tools and do something else and have a richer, a fulfilled life. Now, I was talking to someone today. I'm talking to him and I'm saying, we're like, what about this and what about that? And I said, you have a message. You have a gift of grace. You take that gift of grace out there and give it to people, and you'll attract the people who were broken, the people who were busted, the people who were disgusted. You'll attract those people. Your message of grace is powerful. That when you're knocked down, you don't have to stay down. Take that message. Go give that message to someone instead of trying to get them to follow you. Go give the message and make them better people. Listen, it is much easier. It's way easier to go out and give somebody $100, a crisp $100 bill than it is to try and get them to give you the $100 bill. Way easier. Remember, resources are unnecessary until we're committed to the work. Until we're committed to what we want, resources are unnecessary. We don't get what we want in life, we get what we believe. We don't get what we want, we get what we believe. So if we don't believe, if we're not committed to this work or to what we want, there is no need for resources. The resources are there. Everything is there, but we're not committed to the work. Listen, when King David, when the Goliath, the giant would run around, insulting the armies of Israel. He was saying, and he was yelling at the armies of Israel and insulting them. David come down and he looked and he's like, who is this guy? Then he's like, isn't there a cause? Aren't we fighting for the Lord? Is there not a cause? What makes you mad? What cause? What problem? What issue needs to be solved? What is in your heart? What do you have the specific tools, gifts, and understandings? What do you have that you can solve that you can monetize, because everybody has to live. Everybody has to live. So we need to, what problem can you solve that you can monetize or make money from? Solve those problems. Now listen, when we do something, it needs to be very specific, very intentional. God's an intentional God. When you ask a 4-year-old what he wants to do, what do you want to do when you grow up, Billy? What do you want to do? I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a baseball player, and I want to be a fireman. Well, you can't do all those things, Billy. You can't just do all those. It might be quit placating people. Quit telling people they can do whatever they want. You can't just do whatever you want. You can do what is burning, what is really in your heart. It must be specific. It must be targeted. It must be measurable. We must be targeted and measurable. What do we want? Why? So you can evaluate, so you know if you're hitting the goal or you're not hitting the goal. Now, look, the easiest way to do this, the easiest way to find opportunity is to get involved with somebody else. That's by far the easiest way to do it. Help them do what they're doing. Nobody can cover all of the bases. Nobody can do that. People, we need to work together. We need to work as a team. The thing I do, I partner with I work in recovery, so I partner with a treatment center. I partner with churches. I partner with psychiatric therapy people. We partner with each other so that the team makes it better, right? So find what somebody's doing and then get involved in that. Now, here's an example. Let's say we want to feed the poor. We want to feed, we're going to feed the poor. Are you ever going to solve world hunger? No, you're never going to solve it because they keep making more people that keep getting hungry. That's not going to happen. But let's say we're going to go out and feed the poor. What are we going to feed them? When are we going to feed them? Breakfast, lunch, dinner? Let's say we're going to feed them breakfast. All right, we pick breakfast. Now, where are we going to get the money for it? Who's going to partner with us to get the money for the breakfast? Are we going to bring out, plates of food? No. Hey, what about breakfast bars? Okay, let's get 100. Let's just say we're going to do 100 breakfast bars. 100 breakfast bars. Are we going to deliver these breakfast bars? We're going to run around and go, hey, here's a breakfast bar. Hey, here's a breakfast bar. You could do that. We can do that. Nothing wrong with it. Or could we partner with somebody where people already are going, like a shelter? So maybe we can bring 25 breakfast bars to this shelter, 25 breakfast bars to that shelter. Then we make relationships with 4 different shelters, 4 different people. Hey, what we do is provide bars. That's what we do. In the meantime, we're making relationships with other people, with other organizations that are about the same cause. We're all committed to the same work. You want to build quality, lasting relationships? Build it around a mission. Build it around a purpose. There is a purpose. There is something that people are called to do. And when we do that, we'll work together. Commit to the work. Commit to a work. Find a work. Pray to God. And if you start something, hey, let's start this. And if it doesn't work, then do something else. Do something different. See, when we commit to the work, God will bring the vessel. God will bring the vessel. Now, last thing. This is a story about Tony Robbins. He's been known to feed people in Thanksgiving time because he grew up poor. And so he set his people up in New York City to feed the poor and bring these dinners to the poor people. So he set this up where he would deliver it in vans. And he gets there and he arrives on the scene, and his people that he had in charge did not rent any vans. They said, no vans available. No vans available. He's like, I don't accept that. So he stands on the corner. You can listen to him tell the story. He stands on the street corner and he waves down cars. He waves down cars for hours. hours looking for the vans that would bring these dinners. And they had it all mapped out where they're supposed to go. They just didn't have the vessel. And then he ends up waving down the second person in charge of the Salvation Army. The second person in charge of the Salvation Army. He says, we have plenty of vans and they're all available. We know where you're going to go, but there's more need over here. Let's bring them there. So he didn't take no for an answer. He didn't know where it was going to come from. He didn't know. He just stood on the street corner and waved down vans until he found the answer. Why? Because he believed in what he was doing. He was committed to what he's doing. And when you're committed to what you're doing, when you're committed to what you want, God will meet you there. Faith will meet you there. He will bring everything you need. This is the 3 Degrees Podcast. My name is Randy Stone. So glad you're here. So glad. Hit like, subscribe. I sure appreciate it. Share the video. Till next time, God bless.